Okay, this is our last problem. We're going to verify the tangent of pi over 2 minus x is equal to the cotangent of x. Now, before I start this problem, of course, I'm looking to the left and I am thinking that I'm going to be expanding out with the tangent difference identity. But if I think about this for a second, if I'm going to find the tangent at pi over 2, which would be a part of that expansion when I expanded it out, I gotta be careful because if I go back to the unit circle and I think about where pi over 2 is, and let's get another color we can see. If we think about where pi over 2 is on the unit circle, pi over 2 is 90 degrees, right? So its sine and its cosine value, well, its cosine value is 0, its sine value is 1. So if we talk about the tangent of pi over 2, which is, I'm going to be putting the sine value, or 1, over the cosine value, 0, we know it's undefined. So that means that I can't use the expansion. I can't use this expansion in order to verify that it equals to cotangent because the tangent of pi over 2 is undefined. So I have to rewrite this a different way in the beginning. So I know something. I know that the tangent, and let me just clear everything so we can have space. I know that tangent is just sine of theta over cosine of theta. So I know that this identity is also true if I write it like this, that the sine of pi over 2 minus x over the cosine of pi over 2 minus x is equal to cotangent x. All I did is I rewrote tangent instead in terms of sines and cosines. Now I'm going to use the sum and difference identity for sine and for cosine. And I'll use that to verify that this is equal to cotangent because I know that the sine of pi over 2 and the cosine of pi over 2 is defined. So let's go ahead and expand it out. In the numerator, I'm saying that the sine of pi over 2 minus x. So I'm going to use difference for sine. So this would be sine of pi over 2. Remember, sine switches, times the cosine of x minus the cosine of pi over 2 times the sine of x. I'm going to go to the denominator, do the same thing for cosine. I'm going to use the cosine difference identity. So that is the cosine of pi over 2 times the cosine of x plus, remember this is what switches for cosine, just the sine of it. So it's plus the sine of pi over 2 and the sine of x. All of this again should equal cotangent x. Now, what we're going to do is we'll substitute what we know. We know the sine of pi over 2 is 1, and the cosine of pi over 2 is 0. So in the numerator, I have a 1 times the cosine of x minus 0 times the sine of x over 1 time, or I'm sorry, 0 times cosine of x plus 1 times sine of x. And that simplifies to, if we look at it in the numerator, this would just go away. Or, yeah, that would go away because they're multiplying. And then the denominator, 0 times anything is 0, so that would go away. So if we look at this, this simplifies into a 1 times cosine of x, which is just cosine of x, over a 1 times sine of x, which is just sine of x. That should equal cotangent of x. And if we look at that, cosine of x divided by sine of x is indeed cotangent of x. So we have verified this. Left is looking like the right. That's very. Moving on, you're going to try these problems on your own. So good luck.